Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's not just me here. Obviously, I've got Keir here, and the reason I've got Keir here is because he had a bit of a disagreement with a pin which went to his eye, so he was wearing the cone of shame for the last 2 weeks, and I've been very touched by how many people have been worried about Keir. So I can gladly report. Look at him, no cone, so he's much happier. He's running around. He's just knocked over my cup of tea. All over me, which I'm not that happy about, but he's much better. So just wanted to give you that update. But more importantly, and what we're going to do, me and Kate, is go through your comments, which have been coming in. Right, the Fat Americans won. You are now saying what Farage has been saying for years. Now, of course, this is because, and hello, Fat Americans, this is because I've said that the left needs to have a debate. Do we need to leave the European Union? And you know, shall we talk about it? Now, firstly, I've always been critical of the European Union for being undemocratic and also kind of enshrining policies which support big business and privatisation and often are against the rights of working people. And I've been totally consistent about that. I've been writing articles about it for the last few years. But I suppose my difference there, and it is quite a big difference between me and Nigel Farage, is for me, I think it's a threat, obviously, to democracy for often quite different reasons. Because I think Nigel Farage wants to get rid of the European Union and then build a Britain where we privatise the NHS, because he wants a public insurance model instead, as he called it, where you have private insurance companies running it instead, where we roll back workers' rights, where we slash taxes on the rich, and where we privatise our services and roll back the state. Well, I don't support any of those things, and neither do I think that immigrants, whether it be Polish nurses or Lithuanian care workers, are responsible for the plight that this country's in. So I'm afraid to say that the unity that you think exists between me and Nigel Farage is pretty non-existent. Don't expect to see us down the pub having a pint anytime soon. Rose Smaller. Oh shit! Are you that voice and the revolution will be televised?
George Osborne says it's time to get tough on benefit scroungers, describing them as no different from muggers who rob you in the street.
No, Rose, you're mixing me up. I do the voiceovers for the DFS ads. Now, Sal Badman says, well done, Nigel Farage. Not quite sure why. I guess Owen is going to hijack Ukip's cause now after calling them racist for the last 5 years because they want to leave the EU. Hilarious. Well, first off, hello, Saul. Firstly, I think you need to disentangle the European Union and immigration. I've objected to Nigel Farage's often inflammatory statements about immigrants when he said,
if a group of Romanian men moved in next to you, would you be concerned? And if you lived in London, I think you would be.
Didn't like that. I didn't like these posters saying there's 27 million Romanians and Bulgarians who want your job. I didn't like it, to say the least, when he made poisonous statements like,
there are 7,000 diagnoses in this country every year for people who are HIV positive, which is not a good place for any of them to be, I know. But 60% of them are not British nationals.
That's the objections I have, the scapegoating of immigrants for problems I think are caused by the banks, poverty-paying bosses, for example, private landlords who charge rip-off rents, and so on. I actually did an open letter to Ukip voters a couple of years ago where I was saying actually we agree on lots of things. So, you know, it's always been my position that we're not going to win over Ukip voters by calling them a bunch of racists. These are working class people often who have very real concerns about housing and jobs and services and wages, but I want to give them answers based on hope. I don't think Ukip offer that at all. I think they offer answers based on fear. Daniel Harvey is one of the many commenters who are concerned about the health of my ear. Is your ear bleeding, he asks. The problem is, Daniel, I've got a slight confession. I'm not always the most coordinated of people. And I think when I was shaving, and this proves I do shave for those who don't think I do, I think I managed to slash the old ear with a razor. So it probably was bleeding. Should have checked before, shouldn't I? That's embarrassing. At least I didn't have shaving foam still on my face, which has nearly happened. High Life Hi-Fi. Hello. Says, I support Jeremy Corbyn's campaign, think he has great policies, those that I've never really had the chance to vote for as I'm 27. Although people keep telling me he has no chance on becoming Labour leader and would be unelectable as PM. Do you agree he has no chance, or should I remain hopeful? Well, High Life, to be honest with you, I think just by him being in the leadership campaign, it helps put on policies on the agenda which are hugely popular with millions of people, but are otherwise ignored. He's forcing these issues on the agenda, and he's doing a lot better than people expected. He's at the moment, with the nominations of local Labour parties, he's now second behind Andy Burnham. So he's beginning to panic them a bit, because he's not doing, this joke, disastrous left candidate they thought he would be. The biggest trade union in the country, Unite, has backed him. So I think, to be honest with you, he's already a winner, because he's helping to shift the debate, put policies on the agenda that million support. And if Labour has any hope whatsoever of winning again in Scotland, where voters defected en masse to a party that positioned itself to its left, well, can you imagine if Jeremy wasn't in the contest? Wow, do you edit your own videos? Absolutely not. I am completely technically incompetent and inept, but standing just behind this camera right this second, looking probably slightly embarrassed, is Adam. And he does all of them, and he's absolutely fantastic, and makes these incredibly well-edited videos. Otherwise, they'd just be a stream of my inane consciousness, and I don't think anyone wants that, so for Adam. Thanks for all those comments, they were cracking stuff. Thanks for all the care about Keir. I know people were very worried about him. He's doing much better, and he's passed out in the corner of this sofa. So keep the comments coming, keep the discussion going, and I'll see you next time.